Welcome to my gate biology vlog. I'm out here in my yard protecting my orange tree from looters. While we're all sorry to be away from each other, I think we'll just take this moment away from our coronication. Nothing to do with adult libation, but rather the mutation that's changed the viral gestation. It's causing havoc with our airlines and aviation and maybe starving the people on the space station, to pull you out of your isolation. And we're going to take a little tour of carbon circulation. The last topic, the one that we didn't get to as we left, was the carbon cycle. So I brought you outside to my orange tree to show you how the carbon cycle works in our world. Let's take a moment to do that. This orange here is really the key to our story, but we'll let it drop to the ground because that's another key to our story. The atmosphere. Here we see the ground and the ocean. This is the setting of our story. The carbon cycle is all about carbon dioxide. There are a lot of other players that are very important, but there's a couple processes we'll focus on. The most important process, maybe on Earth, but definitely for the carbon cycle, is photosynthesis, which brings the carbon dioxide, carbon being the key here, carbon dioxide out of the air and into physical bodies on Earth, like my orange tree and that orange that I just dropped. The same thing happens, maybe even to a greater extent, in the oceans with phytoplankton and algae, also photosynthetic. Now, once photosynthesis has created plants, animals like fish can eat the plants in the ocean, or animals like me here on land can eat, for instance, the oranges from this tree. The way that carbon cycles, it has to go back up into the atmosphere, is through the process that you already know, cellular respiration. It's hard to write with a weapon, but I think it's necessary in these times. Cellular respiration returns carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. You already learned the equations for photosynthesis and respiration, so I don't need to tell you about that. And I think I hardly need to tell you, as drillers, that we also add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere through the use of fossil fuels. You see, when plant materials from dead plants, die and are compressed, and also when oceanic plant materials, the phytoplankton, settle to the bottom and they're become part of the geology, they, not all, but some of those, and a lot of it historically, can become fossil fuels. Now this does take in the tens to hundreds of millions of years, but the drillers have found a way to extract, right? So here is our oil derrick. And when we take the oil out of the ground, right, there's oil flowing out of the oil derrick, we of course burn it. Combustion of the fossil fuels is a third arrow up into the air, taking carbon dioxide from the ground and putting it back in the atmosphere. Important point to note is we got photosynthesis, we got 2 arrows going down, and we had cellular respiration, 2 arrows going up. But this combustion is what is throwing the current cycle out of balance. How we're ending up with more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere than is traditional, and less here on the surface of the Earth. So the carbon cycle, of course, is associated with global climate change because this CO2 here is acting as a blanket that is trapping heat. There's always trapped heat on the Earth, but a little bit more than usual. Anyways, I would like to thank you for joining me in episode 1 of our vlog, and stay safe out there, guys.